Hello, Bethany family. Today is day 27 of God's Great Hope, 30 days of prayer. And today I'm going to read from Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 11. And the title of today's devotion is Devastating Times Require God-Sized Prayers. Nehemiah 1:11 says, O Lord, I pray, please let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servants who desire to fear your name. And let your servant prosper this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man. In order for Nehemiah to act on God's burden and call to assist in the rebuilding of Jerusalem, he had to obtain favor and permission from King Artaxerxes to leave his post and return to his homeland. This was a God-sized task requiring a God-sized prayer. Three truths stand out concerning Nehemiah's prayer. First, Nehemiah's prayer was a humble, God-centered prayer. Nehemiah's prayer focused on the Lord and included the interjection, please, along with the petition, let your ear be attentive. This represented a humble plea for the Lord to listen, hear, and therefore come to his aid with help. Artaxerxes had actually halted work on the rebuilding of Jerusalem earlier. So for Nehemiah to obtain permanent leave to restart this work, he knew God would have to change the king's heart. The second truth is Nehemiah's prayer was courageous. Nehemiah realized that Artaxerxes could possibly order him punished, removed from office, or have him executed if he felt that Nehemiah was coming against or challenging his authority. This was especially true since Nehemiah was the king's cupbearer. Nehemiah's position required his utmost loyalty because he worked closely with the king and was in charge of ensuring his meals were safe. Nevertheless, Nehemiah trusted in God's sovereign ability and sway over man as he prayed for mercy in the sight of this man. The third truth, Nehemiah's prayer was based on a genuine fear and trust in God. Fear refers to reverent fear and is a reference to Nehemiah and the other servants who had a desire to fear God's name as they prayed. Nehemiah and the servants with him therefore trusted and feared God more than they did man. The word prosper points to Nehemiah's desire to have God's hand of favor and blessing with the king. This was a God-sized request that required God's power to be answered. During the North China Revival in 1908, missionary Jonathan Goforth encountered great unbelief among local leaders in one province. They did not believe that God could use Goforth and move mightily in revival in their area. But as Goforth and others began to pray and trust God to send His Spirit and overcome their unbelief, the tide began to turn. Revival soon came as most people who attended the services were gloriously converted. They had prayed and expected God to do great things, and He did. If revival can ever come during devastating times, God's servants must have the courage to ask Him to do great things that only He can do. God can do His greatest work when darkness and despair is rampant and His people pray God-sized prayers. Today's two prayer prompts are these. Lord, help me pray God-sized prayers during these days of unrest in America. And Father, teach my church to fear You more than man as we pray God-sized prayers. Have a blessed and wonderful day.